there, fellow plant people. I thought I'd do a quick patio update for you while we're in between thunderstorms today. It's kind of a stormy Saturday, so I don't have any of my fabric items out that really makes this patio pop and feel homey, but that was the plan for today, so we're just going to go ahead and deal with what we've got. But this is my patio update for July 2020. Over here, this is my entryway onto my patio from the sidewalk that kind of leads to the front of the house and then the street. I live in a duplex. And so up here, I put these really nifty 4-inch pot hangers that you drill into like a wall or a post. I have a couple of jungle cacti hanging out there. This gets a lot of morning light. So some gentler east aspect light in the mornings. I also have my Philodendron Moonlight hanging out right here, which it really seems to enjoy. I moved that one outside for like lack of space inside my house at this current moment, but it's producing some new growth, and it's that really bright, vibrant neon green. Speaking of bright neon leaves, this is one of my 2 Impatience plants, and it's not doing so good. Over here, this is my Scindapsus pictus exotica, and as you can see, a few leaves, there is some damage on a few of the newer leaves. They were newer when I moved this plant outside, and I think the change in light was just a little bit too much for just a handful. I think there's only like 2 or 3 leaves that experienced this, and I haven't seen any pests on it or anything, so really it's just a couple of fluky leaves, and there's this new growth happening that looks completely normal and healthy, so I'm not worried. Other than that, this plant really does seem to be enjoying it outside this summer. And then down here I have one of 2 window planter boxes, or railing planter boxes, I should say. This is the one that's kind of suffering a little bit more. For some reason, I have 2 bird's nest ferns and a parlor palm in here. One of the bird's nest ferns, the one I just showed you on the right here, is kind of crispy, and then the parlor palm's adjusting, I think. But this bird's nest fern, this is my Leslie variety, has a bunch of new growth in the middle. And this one's always been just a little bit crispy on the edges. So, I mean, it's okay. It's not the worst. It's not the best either. And then over here, this is kind of the midpoint area of my patio. So I have this planter, or this pot holder here with my Peperomia incana. And then I also have my staghorn fern on this central post right here, where it gets a good balance of light. So it gets some morning light, and then, you know, it's shaded. It gets bright indirect light for much of the day. And then toward the end of the day, late afternoon, it does get some filtered light from the west, but it's usually at that point behind a big pine tree, my neighbor's pine tree. So it's dappled afternoon light. It's a good kind of central spot for both of those plants. Then over here, I've got my potting bench that my dad and I made together out of repurposed materials. And as you can see, I've used it quite a bit. If I had anything to redo about this, I'd probably make it a little bit skinnier, not as wide. As you can see, it's gotten some use this summer already. Then this is kind of my main living space, quote unquote, on my patio. You can see Hound Dog hanging out, having a good old time in the heat. And then this is my second railing box, and I love this. I love this combination. So I have 2 Dallas ferns right here, which are doing really well. I planted them in a couple of colanders, kitchen colanders that I was not using. And then I have this beautiful bloodleaf or chicken gizzard plant. It's the Irisine herbstii. That would be the botanical name. And just look at that. Look at this foliage. It's incredible. And I've got new growth on this plant. It's really liking the high humidity and kind of the dappled bright light that it gets right here. And I just think this combination is really inspired with the color and the textures. It's not too much like Christmas. It's just really pretty. I like this a lot. Wish the other one looked like this. Yeah, love it. And then right above the second planter box, I really do like symmetry where I can get it. So I have another hanging basket with my Marble Queen pothos, and this plant also is loving the outdoors this summer. A lot of new growth, a lot of really light colored or, variegated leaves on that new growth. And I'd say all of the vines have, if they haven't doubled their size, they've at least grown by like a third. So keeping this plant out here until I have to bring it in because it just seems really, really happy. Just beautiful. Over here is my second Impatience hanging basket. This one is doing a little bit better than that other one I showed you. Something to do with probably nutrients in the soil. The leaves are yellowing, and so I think it's probably about time to kind of address that, see if I need to add anything, fertilizer. Then right under that I have this little display where I have a few of my outdoor succulents. My aloe vera up top, which is looking really good. It's growing, it's greened up quite a bit. Then I also have my little Echeveria planter right here. This was indoors for a while, and as you can see, it wasn't happy, or a couple of them weren't super happy for a while. They were stretching, exfoliating I think the term is, and since I've moved them out, their growth is a lot more compact and a lot more, you can really tell that they are enjoying the light they're getting now. So I don't know what I'm going to do when winter rolls around again, but then down below here, I have my Peperomia Orbit. This guy was struggling indoors, but as you can see, it really likes its spot out here. And there's a ton of new growth around the base. A lot of the leaves were yellowing on me, and it was getting really stretchy. I had been thinking about taking cuttings from it, but now I'm gonna kind of consider what's going on and let it be for a bit. Then I also have a Peperomia Graviolans out here. This is one of my more succulent varieties of peperomia. So it does well in the spot where it gets some really good, stronger afternoon light. It is kind of sheltered a little bit by what I'm about to show you, but there's new growth on it. I love these little green tops, these little windows where the sunlight hits and the plant, uses these to process that energy. So that's kind of cool. Love that plant. Cute little succulent display right there. So this plant, my potted up Swiss chard, these were scrawny little reject seedlings that didn't end up in my garden. And as you can see, that plant is doing amazingly well. So this is my main seating area. It's really, really cozy when I have my cushions on there. But again, as I mentioned, we are in between thunderstorms, so I just didn't feel good getting them out. But I have this cute little plant display. That's kind of the main kind of trunk where I keep those cushions. So this is my fire flash plant. And as you can see, this guy was a little bit annoyed when I brought him out for the first time. I tried to kind of acclimate it to the outdoors. This new growth looks great, but some of the older leaves did get burned. And with fire flash plants, any damage to the leaves just shows up as this huge ugly black scar or mark. My Ponytail Palms are looking really good. They are enjoying the outdoors as well. And then I have this funny little thing. I think this is a Dracaena. I will make sure to put down the name on the screen if it's not a Dracaena, but I think I'd heard it referred to as like a Dracaena Beauty or some sort of Dracaena. New growth on that too. And then this is my dragon fruit, and you can see this huge new growth point on it that took off after I moved it outside. This big arm on it. So yeah, this was the original plant. Oh, anybody home? I do get spiders on my patio, and when I see a spider, I tend to just leave them alone because I know they eat the mosquitoes, so I consider them friends. But yeah, that was my sunnier side of the patio. I get a lot of afternoon sun. This is my bamboo fern. My I think it's zebra bamboo fern, and it is struggling. It was struggling indoors. So this is when I tried to rehab by bringing it outdoors for the higher humidity of the summer. And it does have that new growth on it. I just pointed to it. It's doing okay now. This guy is another story. This is my sad little heart's tongue fern. It's just, I haven't been very good about keeping up on watering it. So I don't know how he's gonna do, but I'm still trying. So this is over on that other side. Gets a lot of afternoon northwestern light. And this is my only Hoya I have out here right now. This is my Crimson Princess, or Hoya carnosa rubra. And I again have these cute little hangers, the wall hangers for plants. They fit 4-inch pots. They're amazing. I really appreciate them. I will link where I got them down below in the description. And this Pseudorhipsalis ramulosa is fruiting. Like, I think those are berries on it. And as you can see, it's really turned that vibrant red maroon color that these plants get in bright light. Then over on this other post here, opposite that previous post I just showed you, I have 2 of my highest delight plants. This gets probably the strongest afternoon light, this area right here. And so my silver dollar vine has a lot of new growth on it, actually. You can see some of those spider webs on there. They are spiders, not spider mites. I've been keeping an eye on it. And again, I don't evict spiders. I appreciate them when they make their presence known on my patio. Mosquitoes, man. Minnesota, it's all about the mosquitoes. Gotta control those. But this is my my burro's tail, which has a lot of growth on it as well. So this is kind of the view into my yard. And as you can see, my veggie garden's right there. But then over here, I am planting a flower bed. I'm going to, basically from that post and kind of arc out, and then to that post, I'm going to clear that grass, and we're going to plant a couple perennial flowers and then some annuals. But right now, I have this temporary brick patio set up for these 2 pots. I'm still working on filling that other pot, but this banana plant has been loving it here this summer. This is my Dwarf Musa banana, the Little Prince, I should say. Musa Little Prince is the name of the cultivar. And this used to be a desk plant. It was in a glass jar, a cookie jar on my desk forever, and I moved it out here this summer, and now I don't know how I'm going to get it back in the house. Oh, its newest leaf, you can see there, probably got some wind damage from the storm that passed through earlier today. But it's doing great. It loves it here. I'm going to have to figure out a plan for it when it gets cool again, but we'll see what I can do. Temporary little brick patio there. But yeah, I really want to kind of get all of this grass out. And then I'm planting some dog-safe perennials and annuals. This is another area of my yard that could use a little work. Don't have concrete plans for that. I love that variegated dogwood tree or shrub. It's beautiful. That hosta keeps popping up. I keep thinking that I'm getting it out, and these 2 little ferns were kind of surprises. They're not intentional. They just came up this year. I hadn't seen them in previous years. And I don't know what variety they are. I don't know what they are, to be honest, completely, but I just left them. They're pretty. And then, yeah, there's just a lot of unused old space here. I'm thinking about adding some more ferns there, right where Hound Dog likes to patrol. But I'm thinking about adding some sort of shade-loving plants. This is the north side of this house. And so it's pretty shaded in this area for much of the day. So again, this is kind of what my patio's looking like right now. I really wish I could have showed you what it looks like when I can have the cushions out and I can have, you know, it just feels really nice out here. The plants have helped immensely this year. That's my little view of Lake Waconia. But just really have made this space feel homey and a place where I kind of want to spend time. And it's not just a pass through. Guys, I almost forgot to show you my sweet potato vine cuttings that are super busy rooting up right now. This is the variety Sweet Caroline Sweetheart Red. And again, it's a sweet potato vine. These are normally used in outdoor planters and hanging baskets. I got these cuttings from my mom's sweet potato vine. She has one growing in one of her arranged hanging baskets outdoors. And it was getting really long, so I took the cuttings, and I'm thinking I'm going to eventually pot them up and hang them in one of these little hanging or plant hangers. I think that would be really, really pretty. I love the color. I love how vibrant it is. I don't think this is going to become a houseplant, but I am just, why not? Why not hang it up and add some color to this space? That's my opinion anyway. Sweet potato vine. Beautiful. And the weather's coming in. Round 2. Thunderstorms coming. Just a little rain and some thunder. I love it on these days when I don't really have to water that. Soak it in, veggies. Okay, it's coming down a little bit harder now, but you know what? It's a good thing. It's a little rain. It's good for everybody, especially the plants. So thank you guys so much for stopping by and coming with me on this patio update tour. And I hope you guys are all having a good weekend, and until next time, enjoy your plants and your gardens and your patios.